Welcome and thank you so much for stopping by, my fellow fans of Clash of Clans. Today, I promise you a very educational episode. We are going to take a look at what attacks the top pros in all of Clash of Clans are using and see where the meta stands as it is right now, and maybe if we can capitalize on this. Obviously, right now, the general consensus among top players is that offense is very, very strong. And so what we've seen this past season in CWL was a lot of wins, a lot of 3-star wins that maybe had some significant mistakes. But you know what is not a mistake? And that is the fact that I am telling you, you guys should try out World War Doe. Yes, I play this game, I stream this game just about every single day. You've got to check it out. It is hilarious. It is not a copy of any other game that you've seen, that you've played, that you've tried, and it will make you laugh harder than any other game you have seen, played, or tried. The link is right there and in the description. If you download it, it works kind of like a use code Galadon. So in essence, this is a use code Galadon shout out. But here's the thing, they're not paying me to make this episode. I'm not getting paid if you download the game. I only get a kickback if you spend money in the game, which means you have to love it. I love it. You guys have to give it a try. And if you join my clan, we've got winners every single month that pick up free gems and free skins just for being amazing. Let me know if you try it down in the comments, and I will see you in game. Now back to these attacks, and yes, there were some mistakes made, and perhaps we will check those out, but right now a pretty sweet attack from CG, exhibiting what was the #1 most popular attack in my Champion 1 sampling in last season CWL, and that is Queen Charge Hybrid, which just happens to be my personal favorite attack, although I will admit that these guys seem to be a little bit better at their funneling. Holy cow, the laser precision with which they funnel is something that we could all benefit from, and you'll see this is very consistent across all of the different attack strategies that are being used right now in Champion 1, and that is that almost every single attack is going to use a significant amount of funneling. You see the Queen was funneled, and then she funneled for the Hogs and the Miners, the Barb King over on the right-hand side, and a huge variety, by the way, in spell choices and even army choices in these hybrid attacks. A lot of players choosing to go with Zap Hybrid. Yes, I called it Zap, but it's a lightning spell, but you can call it Zap in the name of the attack itself. But it's true, the lightning spell continues its prevalence in Elite, Clan War, and CWL gameplay in Clash of Clans. It is so strong, and apparently, I mean, come on, it's been out for a while, and we haven't seen a balancing, right? So, okay, so the fact that we haven't seen a big nerf or a balancing to the lightning spell makes me think that perhaps, and I'm just kind of going out on a limb right here, the next update could provide some balancing in itself. And what I mean is, I do continue to argue that I think the lightning spell is just too good. It's too strong right now, although I do love it in farming, absolutely. It just feels like too many attacks are using it. And now we're seeing it in these hybrid attacks as well to help with that funnel, even funneling the Archer Queen or just funneling the troops themselves, and of course at the same time getting major value out of that lightning spell grouping and with an earthquake often. But I will tell you this, it's not always the clan castle these players were going after. Sometimes it's just one of those little boxes where they want to clear it out, get maybe a scatter shot, an Inferno Tower, or a couple of defenses out of the way, and next thing you know, the Archer Queen, well, you know, you don't have to YOLO her. She goes where you want, and CG picks up the 3-star, making it look easy. But you know what else is easy? And I know you're thinking use code Galadon is easy, but no, I'm actually talking about Zap Lalo and the players like Hussein from Tribe this season that used Zap Lalo, especially taking out the clan castle, found themselves absolutely crushing bases. I continue to insist that this is not a low skill attack. I mean, you need to know what you're doing here. You need to have some experience in the Lalo category of the Lalo attacks. And this one in particular is going to be Zap Lalo with those Sui heroes. So watch as they just roll in, and they're going to try to help out with the funnel as well. So the Barb King and of course the Royal Champion on one side. Then here comes up at the top, you've got a baby dragon, and then watch for the Archer Queen. Because of the funnel on the right hand side, the Archer Queen is going to be able to roll in here and get major value Watch as she closes in with the king essentially tanking all of these defenses in the area. And sure enough, I still don't know how he did it, but watch as the Ice Golem rolls in, the Barb King in there, and the Archer Queen is going to go after and take down the Town Hall. I don't see it. The planning for this attack was 300 IQ. Check it out right there. I mean, come on. Sui Hero, I mean, that's almost 1/3 of the base with the Sui Heroes is gone, and the Town Hall, and a beautiful funnel pathway created for the remainder of the attack. I'm telling you, these guys know what they're doing, and the planning that goes into these attacks is hours upon hours. So no, we can't expect to have similar results necessarily, but we can capitalize on the general strategies that have been developed here. And okay, watch this one right here. Look as the siege machine, that Stone Slammer, moves in and distracts the scatter shots. Both scatter shots are going to fire at it rather than the balloons. And you know, scatter shots and balloons, they don't mix, especially if they're your balloons. They get annihilated by the scatter shot. So right here, a 300 IQ siege machine distracts and destroys the scatter shots, and then some beautiful freeze action right there, double freeze on literally like 8 defenses. Then the Warden ability right after that, just extending that protection. And yes, Hussein is going to stomp this base. It looks beautiful. It looks easy. I wish it were this easy. And I do feel like I should probably start practicing this attack myself. But man, I mean, I keep on thinking, I don't need to learn it because they're going to nerf Zap Lalo, and then they don't. So you can kind of see maybe that is my hidden agenda, why I think the lightning spell should be balanced. Because if they do nerf it a little bit, then I don't need to worry about learning attacks like this, right? But either way, this is the number 2 most popular attack currently in the Champion 1 sample meta, Lightning Lalo, or if you prefer, Zap Lalo. Now, check this one out. Sir Longsword, SLS as I like to call him, dropping the drag bat on this base. And while we watch this beautiful attack, let me tell you guys that no, drag bat isn't necessarily the 3rd most popular attack right now, but here's the thing. There are so many different attacks being used that it actually speaks to a relatively good balance within the game. And at the end of this episode, I will give you the breakdown. We'll crunch the numbers together on all of these 93 stars that took place in these CWL battles. And I do feel like they're a pretty good sampling of what happens overall in Champion 1 in Elite Clan War battling. But I will also tell you this. Very interestingly, we saw certain clans using more of one attack or the other. There was a specific clan that fought with Tribe this season that used tons of ground attacks. There was one that used almost every single attack was Yetis. We saw even some golems being used. That will be in a future episode. And of course, well, I'll tell you this, Tribe Gaming, these guys are pros at the air attacks. Although I would say about a third of them were ground, the number 1 attack used by Tribe was Zap Lalo. So those guys have definitely found a way to take advantage. And again, it comes down to the base design. We're seeing less and less of these really lopsided anti-3-star bases. You know, we can also use this episode to take a look at the defensive meta and see what bases look like these days, because there is sort of a trend developing right here. Okay, so a beautiful bat drop right there. If you see the entire region on the left-hand side of the base frozen by the Ice Golem, that was impeccable timing by SLS. And of course the bats are going to own. Of course he's got too many freeze spells, and he's going to swag at least one there right at the end. Okay, that's not a swag, but he could have. He absolutely could have, because look at all the dragons down there that were actually frozen by the defensive Ice Golem. So yes, definitely overkill by SLS, and Tribe Gaming had another competitive Champion 1, although they did not finish at the top. They're going to try to compete in the ESL qualifiers to get into the World Championships. But let's go ahead and check out the overall numbers that we saw out of the 93-star wins. Again, like I said, 35 were hybrid. 8 of those were with lightning spells, making hybrid the most popular. Next up, 24 Zap Lalos, then 13 Yeti Smashes, 7 regular Lalos, 4 Drag Bat, and 7 other attacks, covered in future episodes. Thank you, Galadon, for sticking around all the way to the end of the episode. I love, think about it, appreciate every single one of you every single day, so make the best of the rest of your day. Be kind to be people, animals, and play. I'll see you back here. Get tomorrow for more attacks. Okay, I was a little bit behind there.
say you were a little bit behind there. I'd say you were big behind.